What's going on, everybody? So this is gonna be a little bit different of a video. In a prior video, I had said that I kind of wanted to do a pick'em for like the NFL, just to see how right I am and just kind of see if I'm actually as knowledgeable as I say I am. So that's gonna be what this is. I'm gonna start a series where, like, before every Sunday, I want to get like a video out where I just tell you guys my picks and kind of who I think's gonna win. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna pick the game and then the spread. So if you don't know, when you bet like the NFL or stuff like that, there's a spread. It'll be kind of how much they think the favorite team will win by. So like, for example, this one is the Ravens Steelers, and it's Ravens -4. So that means the Ravens would have to win by more than 4 points in order for that to win. So that means that the Steelers are also +4. So that means they have to win or lose by less than 4 for that bet to win per se. So it's kind of confusing. I'll kind of explain more as we go. But yeah, so I'm gonna kind of start off here. And I also have the injuries up here, so I'm going to go from that, really. And so the line that I'm actually going to use... I'm actually going to look at this. So originally I was going to use like an MGM line thing, but I'm actually going to use this. I have a CBS Sports thing. I'll put the link, what I'm looking at, actually. So I don't know what they're using as their line, per se. But right now, we're going to start with Colts at the Lions. Interesting matchup, I think. I'm honestly not sure right now. It's Colts -2.5. This is a tough game for me to predict, honestly. The Lions have been playing really well. Same with the Colts, though, at the same level. So, actually, I think I'm going to go Colts here, and I actually think they cover. So, I think Colts win the pick, and they win by -2.5. Moving on to the next game, we have Vikings at Packers. That's an interesting matchup. The Packers have a laundry list of players out. It's actually insane, like Aaron Jones, Crosby, Bakhtiari. Yeah, this is insane. They have a ton of guys out and or questionable. So I actually think the Vikings are going to cover. I think the Packers will win. They'll win the game, but I don't think they win by 6 is the line, -6. So I think the Vikings cover, but the Packers win the game. Moving on to the next game, we have Bills, Patriots, and wow, this Patriots list is insane of injuries. Like N'Keal Harry's on here, Julian Edelman, Shaq Mason, Joe Thuney, Gilmore. Wow, a lot of guys are questionable. I'm not sure how many are out, but yeah, that's insane. A lot of guys. And the Bills, only guy that's big right now that's questionable to me is gonna be Micah Hyde, but besides that, it seems like they've got their whole lineup. Bills are -4 favored in this, so I'm gonna take the Bills, and I think the Bills cover -4 as well. Moving right along here, sadly, we have the Titans at Bengals. Oh, also, I finally got my Joe Burrow color rush jersey. This has been waiting forever. Absolutely love it. I'm biased. I think the Bengals color rush is one of the best unis in the league, but that's that. But for this game, it's going to be difficult. Bengals, pretty much their whole offensive line is out, and Joe Mixon, so it doesn't look good for us. I do think the Titans win the game, but I do think the Bengals cover. I think they've only not covered in one game. That was the Ravens game, and that game was like deceitfully bad, because they had a fumble go for a touchdown towards the end. But I do think the Titans win, but I do think the Bengals keep it close. Two really bad defenses when you look at it, like just on paper especially. But I do think the Titans will win the game, sadly. But I do think the Bengals cover, and I think they make it interesting. Moving right along, right now, I think I'm going to go undefeated. I'm just going to say it. I think I like these picks.
I doubt it.
And in this game, we have the Raiders at the Browns. Interesting game. The line is -2.5 at the Browns. Not really too many injuries here. Hooper and Wyatt Teller for the Browns are out, but the Raiders seem to be at full go. This is kind of like a make or break it for the Browns. I think this is a like prove what you got. Like, the Raiders aren't bad, but I think if you lose this game, a lot of people are going to question you, and I think that's something that Browns fans get really irritated at. But I'm going to take the Browns. I think the Browns are going to win, and honestly, I think they cover too. So Browns fans rejoice. You guys will win. AFC North is probably the best division of football besides the NFC West, honestly. But yeah, Browns win and cover, -2.5. Moving right, this is insane. The Jets at Chiefs. The line is set at -9. I can't even speak. The line is set at Chiefs -19.5. That is insane. That's a ton of points. I think the Chiefs are obviously going to win, but I honestly think the Jets cover. 19.5 is a ton. You saw last week when the Chiefs were up by a lot, they pulled their guys. I think the same thing is going to happen. I think the Jets get some sneaky cover points right at the end of the game. But also the Jets' like injury list is absolutely insane. Frank Gore is questionable. I think Perriman's out, and I think doubtful is Jameson Crowder, which is like their second best receiver, if not the best on their team. I think the Jets cover. I think the Chiefs win the game. Pretty obvious right there. Next, we have the Rams at the Dolphins. Rams are -3.5 favorites. Interesting game. Everybody is pretty much in the game right here. Nobody of note is out. Tyler Higbee is questionable as of right now, which is the tight end for the Rams. But I think the Rams win and cover this game. It's going to be Tua's first start. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I thought it was pretty interesting of the Dolphins to, out of nowhere, kind of bench Tannehill and
That's not a thing!
Start Tua, but they said this was their plan all along, so if it's your plan, stick to it, do what you do. Fitzmagic was tearing it up, though, so I wouldn't have done it personally. But I do think the Rams win and cover. That's a game that I'm kind of looking at just to see how Tua does in the NFL on his debut. And the next, pretty much the game of the week, in my opinion, is Ravens-Steelers. Ravens -4.5. Steelers at Ravens, so they'll be going to Baltimore. This will be a big game to see who's real and who's not. I mean, these are two contenders in the AFC. Probably the two teams right now that you'd be like, okay, who's going to be playing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship? So this is really interesting. Right now, there's not a ton of notable injuries. Nobody's out that I don't think should be. So there's that. This is a tough game to pick, honestly. I honestly think the Ravens win and cover this game because -4 isn't a ton. I think they might get a last second like touchdown, maybe an interception, something like that. But this will be an interesting game to see how Lamar plays against that great defense that the Steelers have. And I think it's going to be kind of a test for the Steelers. I think they've had a very easy schedule to this point. And I mean, they're going to have an easy schedule. They still haven't played the Bengals. They'll play them twice still. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there, but I do think the Ravens win and cover -4. And now we have the Chargers at Broncos. This one's interesting. The Broncos have a laundry list of injuries right here. I mean, just a ton of guys are questionable. For the Chargers, the only guys that are, I mean, their O-line's pretty questionable. Trey Turner's out, actually, and Brian Balaga's questionable. But it's Chargers at Broncos. The Chargers have been dealing recently. Again, played some bad teams. Justin Herbert looks really good. Second in Rookie of the Year race. Sorry. Biased. Sorry. But I do think the Chargers win and cover this game -3. It will be interesting. I'm going to kind of see how my picks go against what I pick in the spread and what I pick just outright. But Chargers, I think, win and cover here. And then right after that, we've got the Saints -4.5 at Bears. This one, I'm actually going to take the upset. I actually think the Bears pulled this game out. I saw a stat that the Saints haven't played indoors all year. I mean, outdoors. They've only played in domes, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But Michael Thomas is out again, which is kind of weird. I don't think he's played since week 1, which is very weird. There were some like trade rumors. I don't know what's happening there, but interesting to see. But I think the Bears defense is so good. I think it'll be interesting and tough for Drew Brees to throw without his Michael Thomas safety blanket. So I really do think the Bears will pull this out. I think the Bears will cover +4.5. So that's interesting. But I think the Bears win too. This is kind of my underdog right here. I think the Bears win and cover +4.5. My bad. And so right after that, we've got the 49ers at Seahawks -3. This is a interesting game. There's a lot of injuries all across the board here, so I don't think injuries are going to be very definitive because each team's going to be banged up here. But this one's another underdog. I like the 49ers in this game. I think this is going to be one where I think you kind of see how competitive the NFC West is. They're just all really good, and you're going to get really good games every time they play. So I do think the 49ers, I don't know. I don't know if they cover or just win. I'm going to say the 49ers cover. I'm going to pick another upset here. With the 49ers actually cover +3 is the line for them, and they win the game. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. That's a really fun game. I'm excited to watch. And then last we have the, I think it's the Sunday night game, is Cowboys-Eagles. Pooper of a game. This is just a bad game. Eagles, the line is Eagles -10.5. I think they win and cover. That one's pretty simple. I mean, Cowboys down to their third string running back, third string QB with well, I forget his name now. It's like Gucci Danucci is his name. Yeah, Cowboy. Eagles -10.5 might be a lock, and I think Eagles money line is for sure a lock. And then last will be the Monday night game. They don't have the injury reports out yet, so I don't know that. But it's Buccaneers -10.5 right here. And I think they cover and win the game. That one's pretty easy, honestly. But yeah, that's pretty much all my picks. That's ending with the Monday night game right there. I feel pretty good about that, though. I mean, I'll probably try and like put some fun stuff in the video at some places. But yeah, I mean, there's not too many notable injuries really this week. I mean, we already have the injuries with guys are out for so long, so you kind of know that going into these. But yeah, on a week-by-week basis, no one's out. That's huge. I mean, Andy Dalton for the Cowboys is a lot. That affects that spread a ton, and the Packers as well. They had a bunch of guys out that actually matters, so I think that's interesting. But yeah, those are my picks. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if I picked against your team, why I'm wrong. Let me know. But yeah, I'll react to these next Sunday before I go into my next picks. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, peace out and stay safe.